The first criminal trial of Donald Trump has officially kicked off in New York City, and the first day of the trial definitely gave us a good taste of things to come, because just a lot of ground rules were set, and if you've seen how Trump has acted throughout his other courtroom appearances, these rules are almost certainly going to be broken, resulting in many unprecedented scenarios where the court could be forced to hold Trump in contempt, or even have him arrested.
Oh, baby.
And we should just add an asterisk to that entire last sentence, though, because so far, Trump has, of course, been able to maneuver his way out of trouble entirely throughout his whole life, aside from the recent financial judgments against him, which he hasn't actually been forced to pay out yet, because he's somehow found a way to appeal those.
Well, I'd like to see old Donnie Trump wriggle his way out of this mess.
He's gonna do so easily.
So Trump trial day one obviously included Donald Trump in person, because he is now required to be in court every day or face arrest.
Yeah.
Which is one of the many stipulations that we could see him trying to push up against. The other is the gag order placed on Trump, which is supposed to prohibit him from making public statements about people involved in the case. Uh-oh.
He's not good at that.
Yeah.
You should check out this website. It's very popular and very. It's been on the stock market. You might know it. DJT. It's called Truth Social. And if you want to maybe see Trump going up against any gag order, check there first.
He very famously had a bit of a gag order situation
Early on.
Recently.
Early on.
So he is allowed to make comments about the judge, Juan Merchan, which he's definitely done and will continue to do. But he's already potentially violated the gag order by attacking the judge's daughter and his former fixer, Michael Cohen. Trump is already facing a contempt hearing in 2 weeks based off of what he's already posted online in the lead up to the trial. So the idea that Trump will be able to keep his mouth shut about any potential witnesses or even members of the courtroom staff or the jury going forward seems unlikely.
If I were Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, I would bet on Trump not doing...
that's a stone cold lock.
Yeah.
And especially during his middle of the night posting sprees on Truth Social or any of his rally appearances, which he's increasingly known to just ramble incomprehensibly for minutes on end. He had a recent one where his brain kind of short-circuited a bit.
Not to get off topic too quickly, but I mean, this clip it's too good to pass up. We got a great example of Trump's incoherent rambling this past weekend during a rally in Pennsylvania where he started talking about the beautiful Battle of Gettysburg.
Such a beautiful battle.
Just take a look.
What an unbelievable battle that was, the Battle of Gettysburg. What an unbelievable, I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow.
So yeah, incredible stuff. Worthy of a passing grade on a Civil War book report when you are dangerously close to being the only child left behind. Look, we gotta pass him.
Yeah.
He wrote words. I mean,
he's
gonna be someone else's
problem. He turned it in
problem.
on time.
But back to the trial and what actually happened on the first day, which not a whole lot. Just requests from the lawyers on both sides of the case. Many requests from Trump's legal team, which were shot down. And that included a request that the judge recuse himself from the trial.
It was worth a shot.
I mean, let's just throw everything at it and see what sticks.
You know, if I didn't try, I'd be kicking myself.
Yes.
But there it is.
Jury selection began, and a pool of nearly 100 potential jurors, which was already whittled down from around 500 potential people, crept closer to the final 12 after half of that 100 were excused for indicating that there is simply no way they could be impartial.
That is the trouble with a trial like this.
Yeah, it is the former president. Everyone knows who he is, and they're gonna have opinions about him.
Yeah, you're gonna have some trouble finding a truly impartial jury.
And I'm sure that his lawyers are gonna use that throughout this entire trial.
Trials of this sort of prominence, like I want to be in the room of a group of people who has been determined by both legal teams to be impartial in a case involving
drooling?
the former president. Like, I want to meet these people. I want to pick their brain about other topics.
We found the only 12 people still alive with lobotomies.
Yeah.
And they are in this courtroom right now.
The cool thing about our justice system is, by nature, a lot of juries have to include 12 absolute freaks.
Yeah. I mean, who else is going to not have an opinion on this?
So some of the questions that potential jurors were asked include, what news media do you consume? Is it print, online, or television? Which specific outlets do you get your news from? Have you ever attended a pro or anti-Trump rally? Are you on any mailing lists for the Trump campaign? Have you listened to podcasts related to Donald Trump? Are you a member of QAnon, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, Three Percenters, Boogaloo Boys, or Antifa? Do you have any feelings or opinions about how Mr. Trump is being treated in this case?
Oh my God, if I was up for a jury or a trial that was gonna take weeks and take me out of work and ruin my life, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's being treated very unfairly.
I mean, listen,
That's what I heard, it was a very unfair trial.
if I was up for this trial, I would do everything I can to get on the jury.
It would be
You
fascinating.
get very few rare opportunities in jury duty to be involved in something this monumental. But again, the only problem is the only people who could actually be selected are people who don't even know who fucking Donald Trump is. Is that the Apprentice guy?
The deliberation, it would be a sight to behold. Just, okay, first we gotta come up with a verdict on this, but let's see how many of you in this room can put a round peg through a round hole and the star-shaped one into the star-shaped hole.
Yeah. But yeah, so on and so on, lots of questions, pretty simple but important questions that have already resulted in a whole lot of people being excused from service. And you might think that these questions are too dumb or too obvious, but potential jurors need to be held accountable if they lie. And there have already been calls from Trump supporters to have people infiltrate the jury, and not just regular run-of-the-mill supporters either. Here's a tweet from a guy who works for Fox and is the founder of a conservative outlet called Outkick. That's a conservative outlet? I always thought that was like a gay outlet. Anyway, he said the following. If you're a Trump supporter in New York City who is a part of the jury pool, do everything you can to get seated on the jury and then refuse to convict as a matter of principle, dooming the case via hung jury. It's the most patriotic thing you could possibly do.
Actually, it's not patriotic, it's just jury tampering.
Yeah.
Now, as for Trump himself, he was certainly very outspoken when he was outside of the courtroom and in front of the cameras. But things were a bit different inside, where he appeared tired and disconnected. At one point, appearing to fall asleep in court, with journalist Maggie Haberman reporting that, quote, Trump appears to be sleeping. His head keeps dropping down and his mouth goes slack. I mean, yeah, he did seem tired. Especially in the photos, you can see that those are tired eyes.
Yeah. This is not a trial schedule for a man his age.
No, he's been rallying all weekend.
Yeah.
He just wants a little bit of sleep. And this is a very unfair trial getting me out of bed. Just look at the pictures. You can see it in his eyes. You can tell he just doesn't have the gas anymore. But here's what he said about the trial anyway. This is an assault on America. Nothing like this has ever happened before. There's never been anything like it. Every legal scholar said this case is nonsense and it should have never been brought. It doesn't deserve anything like this. There is no case, and they've said it. People that don't necessarily follow or like Donald Trump said this is an outrage that this case was being brought. This is political persecution. This is a persecution like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's an assault on America, and that's why I'm very proud to be here. It's an assault on our country, and it's a country that's failing. It's a country that's run by an incompetent man who's very much involved in this case. This is really an attack on a political opponent. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think at one point he also compared himself to Nelson Mandela, which, very cool.
Who died in the 1980s. Not many people talk about
Yes.
this.
Some people think he died much later, but
Much later, but
those
that's not
people
the
are
truth.
actually from a parallel universe, not the real universe.
Not a lot of people talk about this. I learned it during my time at the White House. There is a parallel universe in which Nelson Mandela died. And
they want us to think it's the Berenstain Bears. No.
Berenstein.
The
Bears.
books Little Baron read at Mar-a-Lago, they were Berenstain Bears.
Yes, and now I can't even go to his graduation.
Proud Jewish bears.
Little Baron. They call him Little Baron even though he's 6'8".
He's gigantic. Anyway, yeah, he got really upset that the court case would make it impossible to attend Little Baron's high school.
Little Baron? We're just making that up. It's now a thing.
Little Baron's high school graduation, as if he gives a shit about that at all. Saying in a post to Truth Social, who will explain for me to my wonderful son Baron, who is a great student at a fantastic school, that his dad will likely not be allowed to attend his graduation ceremony, something that we have been talking about for years, because a seriously conflicted and corrupt New York state judge wants me in criminal court on a bogus Biden case, which, according to virtually all legal scholars and pundits, has no merit and should never have been brought.
He was like, my beautiful son who's graduating from the Donda Academy, I will not be allowed to be there in person. I guarantee you he's probably never had a conversation about this with his son. I would also be curious as to how many ceremonies he's attended for Don Jr. or Eric.
Very few, I would guess.
Yeah.
He doesn't...
Didn't he also, like, the previous trial, which he didn't even have to be there for, didn't he miss, like, his wife's parents, one of them dying?
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry,
his
they're
father-in-law.
They're saying I have to be. No one's saying that. They're saying I gotta be in New York.
You do not have to be here. But yeah, another thing that Trump will miss is the April 25th appearance at the Supreme Court, where he is attempting to receive full immunity for the 4 other criminal cases against him. Whew. From the Associated Press, defense lawyer Todd Blanche said Trump's situation deserved accommodation. It's not very often that you have someone who has multiple criminal indictments at the same time, he added. Merchan said that as a criminal defendant, Trump is required to be here. He is not required to be at the Supreme Court. In response, Trump rolled his eyes, scowled, and stood up to leave as court was breaking for the day. And yeah, the day ended without any jurors selected to be a part of the trial. So that's going great.
Yeah. But before we move on, let's check in on one of the many Trump supporters who are taking time out of their very, very busy and fulfilling lives to sit outside the courthouse wearing all of their MAGA gear.
If he had an affair, okay, services were paid for, services rendered, services paid for, right? So what are we talking about? Lots of men use prostitutes.
Did you see this one?
No.
It's like the lady was like, and so what if he bought a prostitute? She got paid.
Cool.
Yeah, anyways, speaking of the Supreme Court, if you love rumors and conspiracies, then you're gonna love the fact that Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas did not show up to oral arguments on Monday and did not give a reason for his absence. Here's NBC News. Chief Justice John Roberts said in court that Thomas is not on the bench today, but would participate fully in the 2 cases being argued based on the briefs and transcripts. A court spokeswoman had no further information. Thomas, 75, is the eldest of the 9 justices. Often when a justice is not present for oral arguments, the court will give a reason, including instances where there is a health issue. But neither Justice Thomas nor the court gave a reason for his absence. So it's up to the public to decide. And I'm going to conclude that he's on death's door. Yeah.
He's dead or he's on a yacht. He forgot he was supposed to be back at work.
I simply cannot wait for the image of Clarence Thomas with his family around him, where he's like, I like to dabble in Photoshop now and again. So all of these weird artifacting issues you see and the mangled hands, that's just because I like digital manipulation. It's not because I'm sick.
It is wild that he is the oldest at 75. It really puts Ruth Bader Ginsburg's massive bungle in perspective.
Yeah,
she was old as fuck.
A true problematic age gap.
Nope, I'm just gonna stay doing this job because I plan on living forever.
Oh, I'm just getting word that Justice Clarence Thomas has been spotted outside of a farmer's market shopping and going about his normal day.
That's right.
Wow.
Got these long lens photos.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's definitely him and nothing's wrong.
Yeah, it's not the Marchioness of Chamondelay.
Ooh, how does she tie into this?
Anyway, while we are loosely on the topic of conservative weirdos, Rob Schneider has carved out a nice little niche for himself on the depressing as hell conservative stand-up circuit, where he simply goes on stage and just complains about how he's not allowed to be racist or sexist anymore because of woke, of course. By simply aligning himself with anti-woke politics and yelling offensive shit into a microphone, he's been given a huge bump from the Fox News and MAGA crowd who claim to love this type of comedy. But turns out, Rob Schneider's actually just kind of a piece of shit. And after being invited to do stand-up at a strictly Republican event, even hardcore conservatives aren't fans of his shtick, and he was cut off. Oh, sorry, he was canceled.
That's right.
During his routine after people walked out of the room, disgusted by what they heard. Here is Politico with more.
Former Saturday Night Live cast member Rob Schneider delivered a comedy set so off-color and off-putting to a group of prominent Republicans late last year that the host cut the performance short and later apologized to attendees, Daniel Lippman reports. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith, Republican of Mississippi, walked out during Schneider's performance, which occurred at the holiday gala hosted at the Waldorf Astoria by the Senate Working Group, a networking group for senior GOP Hill staffers, downtown alumni, and other corporate and individual members. The show was supposed to last at least a half hour, but SWG Executive Director James Kimmey stopped it within 10 minutes after the comedian made raunchy and inappropriate jokes. People present for or familiar with the performance said, including some aimed at Asian people, including a crack about Korean whorehouses. Schneider's set was gross and vulgar, Hyde-Smith's spokesperson said. She didn't have to listen to it, and so she got up and left. Now, for his part, Schneider claimed that this story is just woke propaganda.
Okay.
Yeah, in a statement at TMZ, he said, "I'm not changing my material or apologizing for my jokes to anybody. Enough with this woke bullshit. America's sick of it. I did 50 minutes because that's what I was paid to do. Nobody removed me from stage. Somebody waved to me at the 50-minute mark." They might have heard him wrong, and maybe 15 minutes instead, but...
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know who to believe here. They're all equally untrustworthy.
I believe some people were saying that it was stuff that was in his special, so they shouldn't have been surprised at who they booked, but nevertheless they were.
You're assuming they watched the special.
No, they were just
assuming
like,
anyone watched
finally,
the special.
an anti-woke comedian. Let's go. Well, we all remember Rob Schneider from The Hot Chick. Let's all gather around and hear some good old-fashioned conservative comedy.
That is the problem, because you don't want your comedy to be woke, but these same people are also very sensitive.
Yeah.
And very easily offended.
Some might say they have conservative values.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to
vulgar
vulgar language.
How do you please such an audience?
Well, you don't, as proof by this exact scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have more coming up for you in just a second, but first, let's take a second to thank today's sponsor for supporting the show.
Yeah.
You probably already know them. You probably already love them. It's Shopify, the best platform for shopping, hosting your own business, and keeping track of all your shipments in one place. There are a ton of amazing duos out there in the world. We are a perfect example, but the best duo is, of course, Shopify and you. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify is there to help you grow.
Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, up to 36% better compared to other leading commerce platforms. No matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. We love Shopify's simple and easy to use app because it keeps track of all of your online shipments. You can even connect other platforms so that your tracking is all in one place.
Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's extensive help resources are there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/itdaily, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/itdaily now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/itdaily.
This episode is also sponsored by Henson Shaving. Henson Shaving is a family-owned aerospace parts manufacturer that has made parts for the International Space Station and Mars rover, and now they are bringing precision engineering to your shaving experience. Razor blades are like diving boards. The longer the board, the more the wobble. The more the wobble, the more nicks, cuts, and scrapes. A bad shave isn't a blade problem, it's an extension problem. By using aerospace-grade CNC machines, Henson makes metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches, which is less than the thickness of a human hair. That means a secure and stable blade with a vibration-free shave.
But wait, it gets better. The razor has built-in channels to evacuate hair and cream, which makes clogging virtually impossible. Seriously. Henson Shaving wants the best razor, not the best razor business. That means no plastic, no subscriptions, no proprietary blades, and no planned obsolescence. The Henson razor works with standard dual-edged blades that give you that old-school shave, with the benefits of new-school tech. Once you own a Henson razor, it's only about $3 to $5 per year to replace those blades. And honestly, we love this razor, mainly because it's infinitely reusable. It gets the job done extremely well. You're not contributing to more plastic pollution in the process. The handle's got a great weight to it. It's ridiculously cheap to refill over time. Plus, it's a nice throwback to back when things were better.
Yeah.
Back when America was great and razor companies weren't trying to stiff you at every chance they got. I gave, at this point, they sponsored us for so long, I had 2 of these, so I was able to gift one of these to a friend. He was very happy about it.
Yeah. Now it's time to say no to subscriptions and yes to a razor that'll last you a lifetime. Visit hensonshaving.com/ITdaily to pick the razor for you and use code ITdaily and you'll get 2 years worth of blades for free with your razor. Just make sure you add them to your cart. That is 100 free blades when you head to hensonshaving.com/ITdaily and use our code ITdaily. Check them out if you're looking for a good shave because supporting our sponsors means supporting this show.
Okay, back to the news now with a story that broke late in the afternoon on Monday regarding Ticketmaster and their parent company, Live Nation, finally ending up in the crosshairs of the Justice Department for doing what they do, which is operating as a monopoly. This is in the very early stages, and we're not going to get our hopes up, but it feels at least a little good knowing that everyone, including the politicians, are absolutely sick of Live Nation's bullshit.
Yeah.
Here's the Wall Street Journal with more. The Justice Department is preparing to sue Live Nation as soon as next month, an antitrust challenge that could spur major changes at the biggest name in concert promotion and ticketing. The agency is preparing to file an antitrust lawsuit against the Ticketmaster parent in the coming weeks that would allege the nation's biggest concert promoter has leveraged its dominance in a way that undermined competition for ticketing live events, according to people familiar with the matter.
Live Nation's size and power in concert promotion, ticketing, and venues are at the heart of a Justice Department investigation that began in 2022. The investigation gained momentum in November 2022 after Ticketmaster crashed during a fan presale to Taylor Swift's Eras tour. Live Nation merged with Ticketmaster in 2010 despite industry fears that Live Nation would use its might to compel venues to use its new ticketing arm. The combined company has grown into an events behemoth that benefited from the post-pandemic resurgence of live events. Ticketmaster now holds more than 80% of the market for primary ticket sales in the biggest venues in the US. It has exclusive ticketing contracts with many of the stadiums and arenas where high-profile acts perform.
Yeah, it's just a textbook case of what
blatant.
antitrust laws exist to prevent.
And the statements from Live Nation on this are so ridiculous because at one point in their statement, they're like, well, actually, there are more ticketing services now than ever before.
Yeah, how many do you own?
So that's the other side of that is the fact that a majority of those ticket selling sites aren't first-party platforms.
Yeah.
They are reselling what you're selling. And you're very angry about their existence because they're the ones getting the fees if they resell when you've already opened your own reselling business as well.
Yeah.
So the fact that like SeatGeek and StubHub and whatever else exists, it is insane that they're using that as a way to say, well, actually, look at all this competition.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
They should break them up. They should break up AXS. That's another one.
Yeah.
Every concert, the very few that I've actually, logged on to try to get tickets day of, it's been a joke. It's like, what is this? I honestly feel like buying online tickets in the early 2000s was a better, more streamlined experience than doing it in 2024.
I simply don't do it anymore unless it's like I can't think of the last time it was a necessary to see, I have to book it this second kind of thing.
I mean, it's annoying because with music festivals now, like the pricing tier changes, where like if you get in early, you get it for cheaper.
Oh yeah, because we're both going to no values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another annoying fucking thing is like the price can go up by like $50 depending on how quick you are about getting it.
Yeah, but again, look, I was wrong about the Taylor Swift one. Prices stayed way high for that. I didn't know. Didn't know she had that in her. But I have never paid literally over face value for any resale stuff because people just, the bigger the venue is, the more options you have for people reselling the tickets, and they get desperate. And guess what? If I miss a show, I've seen so many in my very long time on this earth. I'll just catch the next one.
Yeah.
Anyways, there are a lot of pretty substantial lawsuits and trials going on right now. But aside from the many Trump trials, this Live Nation one, this lawsuit against them might be the most important to us personally, simply out of pure spite against the company that is finally justifiably getting sued.
Yeah, they need to get broken up. Once they started buying up like local venues that fit like maybe 100.
They own the Echo.
Yeah, like it's just like fuck off. God, this is so stupid.
There's like a local.
They got their claws in every little
There's a local
corner.
recurring show, and it's a relatively small show that happens weekly, and they have to put like the presented by Live Nation on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple like.
Luckily, you can just buy tickets at the door there in cash.
There's been a couple great sort of long-running weekly or monthly shows in LA that had to like move venues because they're like, wait, this new management, like this sucks now. Like we're making way less. We were barely making money before, and now this is just like not worth our time.
Especially if you don't pay cash at the door, because then you're paying service fees on a $10 ticket.
Yeah,
you're paying half the price in service fees.
Anyway, speaking of big trouble for companies that we hate, deliveries of the Cybertruck have been halted because, whoopsie, apparently these shit wagons have an accelerator that can get stuck because it falls apart and it allows the pedal to get jammed into a position that sends the truck just dangerously barreling down the road with no way to stop. This also comes amidst the news that Tesla has fired more than 10% of its workforce, which has also resulted in certain executives putting in their notice and voluntarily leaving the company.
People who have been there for the entire existence of the company.
Always a great sign. They are in like the 2017, 2018 period, if we're going by like machinima timescale here.
When you see people start fleeing the sinking ship, you're like, oh, something bad must be happening. When you see executives start fleeing the ship, you know they're watering down the soap in the bathroom.
Well, it's just Tesla is a growth company, and growth is done. They're not growing anymore.
Nope.
The stock value is finally, eventually going to crater.
Yeah.
Because, again, the value is entirely based on growth, and they missed out. Like, they grew while they had the shot.
Yeah, other companies were slow to catch up, and they lost
now it's
their lead.
too late.
Yeah.
But first, here's the Cybertruck news from Engadget. Tesla has halted Cybertruck deliveries, telling owners that there has been an unexpected delay regarding the preparation of your vehicle, Car Buzz has reported. One buyer on the Cybertruck Owners Club said he was told that Tesla issued a recall over a problem with the accelerator.
A simple problem with the accelerator is all it is. Now, here's what would be interesting. If there was, I don't know, because I obviously didn't sign up for a Cybertruck, but is there any way that if your delivery is delayed, you can back out of the order?
Seems simple enough, but who knows?
Quote, "We have just been informed of an unexpected delay regarding the preparation of your vehicle. We need to cancel your delivery appointment on Sunday, and we will reach out again when we are able to get you back on the schedule," Tesla wrote to another client. "We apologize for the inconvenience and look forward to hosting your Cybertruck delivery soon." One owner posted a TikTok showing what might be the potential issue. Due to a problem with excessive lubricant on the accelerator pedal, the cover can loosen and slide toward the front, jamming into a gap in the floorboard. That effectively causes the accelerator to fully engage, creating an obviously dangerous situation. However, Tesla has not confirmed the exact reason for the delay or recall.
Yeah, I mean, if what is shown in that video is true, how do you miss this in the design period? Like, if there is a cover, a removable cover on a accelerator pedal, if there is even a possibility that the way it's going to get removed is by sliding forward while pressure is being pushed against it, like, how does this get past all the stages where you catch that shit? How does this get shipped out?
This is years ago, but I had an issue with some aftermarket floor mats.
Yeah,
they bunched up and they fucking got the accelerator stuck.
Yeah, I mean, that happens a lot with
terrifying.
aftermarket ones. There was I believe the Prius about like 10, 15 years ago, the one that came with the car had that same problem.
Yeah, that was a huge issue that I think multiple lawsuits were filed over, and they were in big trouble.
Yeah, after that, all of the car companies started, there's like little hooks that the floor mats have to attach to, and it's like,
okay, cool, great innovation. Sorry that people had to die for that, but there it is.
Anyway, as for the layoffs at Tesla, here's more from the BBC.
Tesla will lay off more than 10% of its global electric vehicle workforce. In a memo first reported by news website Electrek, billionaire owner Elon Musk told staff there was nothing he hated more, but it must be done. "We have done a thorough review of the organization and made the difficult decision to reduce our headcount by more than 10% globally," said the email from Mr. Musk. "There is nothing I hate more, but it must be done. This will enable us to be lean, innovative, and hungry for the next growth phase cycle." A Tesla employee who had been told he was being let go told the BBC he had subsequently been locked out of his emails, as had all other staff being laid off. One of the executive team, Drew Baglino, said in a post on X, formerly Twitter, on Monday that he had made the difficult decision to leave the firm after 18 years.
Damn!
Mr. Baglino had served as senior vice president of Tesla's powertrain and energy engineering team since 2019, according to Tesla's website. Another executive heading up public policy and business development, Rohan Patel, is set to leave too. And moving on to from other people being scammed to us being scammed.
Well,
Look,
you specifically.
we got scammed by the best back in December when George Santos simply refused to do our cameo request, but we got our money back for that.
Good.
And we have been scammed by whoever is behind the LA Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory experience, because turns out it was bullshit. None of those people are showing up, except the Oompa Loompa is showing up.
Okay.
But none of the
That's not
actual
nothing.
comedians have nothing. They're not involved in any way, and they were just lying on their Eventbrite page, and the Guardian ran with that. Now, here's the thing. They said you can have a full refund. Did I file for a refund? No, I didn't. Because at first, you had my curiosity, or whatever the quote is. Now you have my attention. I need to see what the hell this actually is in person. And I am willing to take the $45 gamble with company money to find out what that is.
Well, have fun, because I will be in New York City while that's happening in LA.
New York!
That's right.
Elliot's going to New York City!
I'm going on a salsa tour. I'm going to try all the best salsas in New York City.
Well, Pace Picante is going to be number one on the list. So they, this is, we should have included it in Weekly Weird. We could have actually broken the news because I got the email personally, because I was probably one of the only people in Los Angeles to sign up for this event, regardless of who was involved. But this is what they sent out in an email on Friday morning. We want to be completely clear about the talent coming. Nathan Fielder, Zach Galifianakis, and Timothée Chalamet will not be at the event. So I didn't even know about the Timothée Chalamet thing. Interesting. Yeah, so folks, I guess I'll be the man on the scene. Yeah. Recording everything I can and licensing it off the Viral Hog. Finally, getting some of that internet money.
That's where the money is.
Oh man, should be interesting to say the least.
Should be interesting.
If it actually happens. I should take Shibby with me.
You should.
Yeah. Who knows what mysteries they're hiding way up there, where us normal folk can't see. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, that's it for this episode of whatever show this is. Internet Today. Been a long day. Anyways, we'll have more coming up for you shortly, but make sure you like the video. Smash the like button. If you feel like joining, go ahead and do it. But just leave a comment, reply to a comment, engage in the video in some way. Make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you soon. Right now, other videos are popping up. You're going to want to watch those. That's a new episode of Weekly Weird News right there, just waiting for you to watch. There's also a new episode of News Dump, just waiting for you to watch. Check those out, and we'll see you soon for some tech news.
Bye.
Bye.